Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Investing Across Borders show. We have a very, very special guest today. My name is Miri Lenov, and I am here with Horacio Ochoa from Mexico Real Estate. And we're going to be talking about Mexico real estate and why now, where, how to buy, all of those questions. He's going to give us really important information that I think everybody's going to really enjoy. So, thank you for joining us, Horacio. It's so nice to meet you. Would you like to say a few things about yourself before we get started in the presentation?
Thank you so much. First and foremost, I know we've been building up to this interview for months on end, so
Yeah,
it's very exciting to finally be here and share the exciting opportunities that are presenting themselves here in Mexico throughout. Absolutely. And
great.
yeah, I have a presentation ready for you guys, for your team, and so on. So we can get right down to it and yeah, answer those questions of why Mexico, how, and where. So.
That's awesome. All right, so let's get started. Add this to the stream. I think we can all see now how to learn about owning real estate in Mexico. So take it away.
Thank you so much. And, you know, for a lot of people, the first message that I send out is what you're hearing about Mexico primarily comes from the media. And here, as an investment advisor, as a real estate agent, I can tell you that the media will never give us positive news about any investment opportunity. So what you're going to see here is probably completely contrary to what you've heard. And so again, very exciting what's going on down here. So I've been in real estate for the last 10 years. I started as a consultant to realtors. I'm originally from Mexico City, raised in Canada, Vancouver. And well, I got into real estate by helping real estate professionals grow their businesses. So over the last 2 years, my wife and I decided to move to Mexico, and we launched our real estate business here with eXp Realty. So we've been helping Canadian, American, and European clients navigate through the process, which has become actually quite efficient and simple for foreign buyers and investors to capitalize down here. So with my knowledge, I can help you both professionally and from my personal experience of having traveled throughout Mexico. I've lived in places like Playa, Tulum, and other more exotic destinations like Oaxaca and Chiapas and so on. So depending on your lifestyle, level of risk, and of course, what you're looking for, what your real estate plan includes, I can help you with that. I am 100% service oriented, so I'm here to assist you and your clients, of course, find the ideal property and the ideal locations. We want to make sure that it fits within your budget, your timelines, and what strategy you're looking at. And of course, we'll help you negotiate the best deal possible and provide you with accounts to service providers, lawyers, notaries, and so on, which you will see are integral in this whole process. So I take into account your time, of course, your needs and wants, very distinct from maybe what we've experienced previously in our holidays or so on, right? Different to investing. And of course, we want to take into account what your goals are and what your plans are for the future. So what's happened here with Mexico, if we just go into Google and we type in why invest in Mexico, Mexico never closed its borders. It never shut down. It never put any protocols or any entry-level restrictions or anything of the sort. And so Mexico placed itself to become one of the top tourist destinations all around the world. And certain destinations within Mexico have seen incredible growth over these last years, whereas many other destinations have simply just, seen that dip. So this was put out September 20th, 2022, basic search on Google, why invest in Mexico? And you can see that it is very positive. It's a great way to build up your knowledge and experience as an investor. Why? Because Mexico has created programs for foreign investors through NAFTA to be able to capitalize on this in a simple way and a lot more efficient for foreign investors. And is it safe to buy property in Mexico? Absolutely. There are only a few conditions that the government has placed, and it's really, again, all through NAFTA. So all three countries, at least of the North American continent, have agreed to these. And so it has really fueled this incredible growth within all of Mexico. And here we can see September 20th, 2022, we had already seen 36 million international tourists. And this is only of September. We're now, deep into the busy season. And we've surpassed records again, primarily in the Riviera Maya, where we're seeing just stunning exponential growth. So the first question that we want to answer, and again, we basically bring a process that was developed back in 1996, I believe, 97, which allowed foreigners to start buying in the restricted zones of Mexico through this process, which is it's called a fideicomiso. And what it is, best described as, is a living trust. So you are going to own the land, you're going to control it, hold it, you can sell it, you can will it, inherit it, set beneficiaries, and it's all done through a trust. And so the major players here are your lawyer, which you should always have. Read the contracts, make sure you understand the contracts. He or she will then work with a notary public that will allow the creating of this link between you, the foreign buyer, and this property here in Mexico. And it's done through this living trust where you will put the property into the trust and the trust will go into a special fideicomiso bank. So it's not a general bank. It's a specialized bank that holds all the living trusts or the fideicomisos. So I hope that's very clear. Really, you're going to use 3 service providers there, the bank, the notary public, and the lawyer. And they already have this set up. I mean, there's thousands of transactions ongoing with foreign investors all around at any given moment. So you're not the first one. This is already created for you to make it as simple and efficient as possible. So all of these points we will look at when we sit down one-on-one. If you have any questions about specific strategies for yourself, buying through a corporation as well as another strategy. So these are all the questions that we will go through and make sure that you can present to your lawyer, your accountants, your investment advisors, and so on, so that they can best provide you with what the right strategy is for you. But again, this program was created back in the late 90s and renegotiated here in 2017. So this is all very modern. It has just become more and more efficient for foreign investors to take advantage of this. So I have an interview on YouTube. I'll send this presentation, I'm sure, to all of you guys, and we'll leave it on the link. But there's an interview here that I do with the lawyer, Daniel Marin, who I trust greatly in the Riviera Maya, and he answers all of the questions about the legal aspects of buying in Mexico, how to own real estate in Mexico as a foreigner. So I invite you guys to watch that. A lot of knowledge there as well. So what should we be looking for when buying real estate here in Mexico, and for the better part anywhere? But especially here in Mexico, we want to look at location. We want to look at who the developers are, what their plan for expansion is. Are they self-funded, or are they already in construction mode? We're looking at a lot of pre-development because that's really where the opportunity is here, especially in the Riviera Maya. You're going to get great pricing the earlier you get in. But of course, we want to make sure that specific points are checked off to make your investment less risky in that sense. We want to look at the development details. What are the attraction factors, the management types, and we'll get into that a little bit. The amenities, and of course the owner benefits, if any. Things like access to beach clubs, so on and so forth. And then of course we get down to the type of units. What are we looking at? What's attractive in depending on what location, what area, and of course, is it for investment purposes? Are you going to occupy it at a certain given time? Are you going to retire in it? So we want to look and answer all of those questions to make sure that we find the right portfolio, the right properties for you. And then finally, are the units furnished? What kind of privacy, security, pools, so on and so forth. So in that order, that's how we would assess what you're looking for and what would be right for you as an investor or somebody looking to relocate down here. And finally, the delivery dates and payment options. And that's where it gets a little bit flexible with payment options here in Mexico. There's very little financing being done. So for anybody who thinks that this is going to be the same play as Canada or the States, where you go to the bank and you borrow money and so on, it's not that. Here, cash is king. The properties are priced so that you can come in early and have flexible payment options and strategies that go along with your budget and timeline. So for the better part, where are we going to go and invest in real estate here in Mexico? Well, the Riviera Maya. I mean, that's number one probably around the world, debatably. Only Dubai matches the level of tourists arriving right now in Cancun. They actually share 4% of all tourism goes to Dubai and 4% goes to Cancun. And after that, it drops off. And within Riviera Maya, we're looking at places such as Cancun, which most people understand and know, Playa del Carmen, and then Tulum, which has really become the biggest factor right now. And then we get into places like Cabo, San Miguel, Merida, Oaxaca, and various others. So again, we can help your clients anywhere in Mexico, and this is where we focus on based on our experience. Now, this was a blog post put out by International Living in 2021, and it was the 15 best places to invest in real estate. And this is just as relevant and even more so right now. You can see Mexico's Riviera Maya, Cabo, San Miguel, and Merida. And what stands out is the fact that there's no other country that has two, right? And this is very significant. This really allowed people to see the diversity of Mexico, because just in the Riviera Maya, again, you have multiple places. But then you get places like Merida, which is one of the safest cities in the world. San Miguel, which is just a beautiful artistic colonial city. And then, of course, Cabo, which has so much more of the modern American style, still mixed with the Mexican. So people are really getting to see that diversity, that opportunity, and the fact that they don't need to live in a tourist destination per se. They can live in the more Mexican towns and cities, right, and get that more cultural feel. But of course, today we're going to talk about the Riviera Maya. Why? Because this is where we are showing our clients the opportunity. This is what's growing. This is what is allowing for larger infrastructure projects to be developed. And so we're seeing just exponential growth year over year over year, regardless of what's happening in the world, regardless of what the media says. I lived in Tulum in 2018 and got to experience the first year of what they believe was going to be the end of the Riviera Maya because of the sargassum. And we have not seen anything of the sort. Have some people been inconvenienced and so on? I mean, it happens anywhere. There's inconveniences everywhere in the world. I mean, just what happened in Florida, just what's happening, right now in Canada with all these storms. I mean, Vancouver's airport shut down today, third day in a row. So there's inconveniences everywhere. But how do these places recuperate? And the Riviera Maya has simply just taking full advantage of everything that is there to be seen, done, enjoyed, explored, and continuously sees that growth from Tulum all the way up to Merida and down. So very exciting times in this area. They've seen so many types of developments come into Cancun first and Playa and now in Tulum. And Tulum is just such a unique spot. So we're going to talk about investment properties. We're going to look at what the vacation factors are, and of course, why we want to get into pre-development residential. So this is a map of the Riviera Maya, very basic here on the right-hand side from Cancun, where you arrive. Currently in Cancun, they are breaking records for airports, for arrivals per day. Yesterday, they had over 700 arrivals in one single day, which is simply outstanding. Their previous record had been like 500 or something. And this is fueling, like we saw in the earlier screen, we're going to get over 45 million tourists arriving here by the end of the year. And so that's fueling Playa del Carmen, it's fueling Tulum, and the smaller towns, Valladolid, Merida up in the north, and then farther south into Bacalar and Chetumal. So the whole area is growing, and the infrastructure is now playing catch up. They're putting in a train which will connect the 5 top states. It's called the Tren Maya. You've probably heard about it. They're now in much higher and advanced planning stages for this airport that's coming to Tulum, and various other projects that are really just global in size. So today we're going to talk about 2 projects very shortly, just in slight detail, so you guys get an idea of what's being presented. So the first one is in Playa. These are studios, which we will look at, and they're about 200 meters away from the ocean. So very, very unique project. And these are villas here. It's called Baluc and Bahia Principe Residences. So just to give you guys an idea of what we're looking at when it comes to development, and we have a short little video.
Fully equipped and finished studios with ocean views starting from the second floor. Situated just 280 meters from the Caribbean Ocean, this development
Horacio, can we make it louder?
90 hectares of mangrove reserve to protect your views. Studio 304 is 435 square feet and has an expansive balcony with unobstructed ocean views. Made with natural and local eco-sheet materials, this studio will be ready for your arrival in 2024.
So everybody should get a presentation anyhow, a link to this, so you can watch it again. But these are studios being developed in Playa, and they start at under $150,000. Wonderful opportunity to be delivered next year. So again, we're talking about pre-development, very, very eco-chic projects, very nice for guests to arrive, great investment opportunities on the Airbnb platforms, a lot of attraction factor. So that's what we're looking for in these types of projects: rooftop pool, shared pool, and again, just a very nice location factor, which people are looking for. Number one, right? It's how close are they to the amenities or the beaches, and just centrality in general terms.
If you can't hear, it's just music. Just look
Yes,
at how beautiful this is. And where is this again, Horacio? Is this in Riviera Maya?
So this is a project in the Riviera Maya. It's called Baluch Luxury Residences. The developers are actually Canadians, so they're building out villas, which is something very unique right now in Tulum, especially in this area. For the better part, they've gone and built condo hotels, suites with studios up to penthouses and 3 bedrooms, that kind of thing. Whereas these guys, they just went out and built houses. And so you get your build to order house, 3-bedroom villa, custom, pool included, a lot of security, a lot of privacy, built inside of the largest hotel complex in the Riviera Maya called Bahia Principe. So a lot of clients have gone down and stayed at the all-inclusives, at the larger luxury complexes. This is one of them. This is home to the Tulum Country Club, as well as a PGA-rated golf course, multiple amenities, and it's built within the full jungle of Tulum, 15 minutes
amazing.
north of Central. So what these guys had in mind was to provide all of the amenities and more, and access to them. Of course, some of them have fees. But again, as owners and guests, you get preferential treatment and rates to use all of the amenities at the hotel complex. So while many other hotels were, slowing down and shutting down, these guys are so big. I mean, they've got 4 different pools, so they've had no problems over the last 3 years. And again, from an attraction and investment factor, that's great because the clients will not be bothered or inconvenienced. And so anybody that's looking for more space, more privacy, and so on and so forth, this is the ideal project. And it includes your private beach club or access to the beach club here through the hotel. Again, a PGA rated golf course, and you would have membership access or special rates. So very, very unique project, and it's something that I feel very comfortable about. Now, people ask me, what's the process of purchasing? What's the process of down payments and so on? So for the general sales process here in Mexico, working with an agent, please again, there's no commitment. Feel free to reach out with any questions you may have about any of this presentation, of course. But just so you know, you want to work with an agent, a lawyer, a notary public, and do it properly, right? A lot of people try to cut corners. I don't suggest it. And our services as agents are, of course, free to you as the buyer. So the first thing we would sit down is, of course, identify the property that you're interested in, submit a letter of intent, which will come with a $5,000 fully refundable reserve deposit. So you would wire that into escrow. And at that point, they would give you anywhere between 15 to 21 days to review all of the materials with a lawyer. You set up your legal structure and decide whether this is the property for yourself. If it is, then you will make up 30% including the 5,000 as a down payment, non-refundable. And at that point, you would be in contract, and then you would determine the pay structure and the final payment due upon completion possession. So depending on your timeline, your budget, and so on, we can find projects that will allow you to make those payments and then take possession at that given time. So that's how it's financed. That's how the model is basically set up. Then we basically hire the notary who would do the process throughout and set this fully up with, again, the fideicomiso bank. Then we would take possession, closing, and that's basically the full general sales process.
Okay, that's awesome. What is kind of like the budget for somebody to go in and buy? I'm not gonna say a 5-bedroom, but one of the properties that you showed us, like a 3-bedroom villa or something like that. Just
Right.
average. Obviously, it depends, but just in average, so people can get an idea.
Right. So, and again, I'm going very surface on these projects, but Buluk here, it starts at $500,000 for a 3-bedroom villa, 1-story. And that's really the biggest choice, whether you want a 1-story or a 2-story home, but they're all 3 bedrooms. They all have their own private pool. And again, it starts at $500,000 US. And these properties on Airbnb, I mean, you can go in right now and look for houses in Tulum, and you'll be looking at, minimum $450, $500 a night. You might get lower options and so on, but you're not going to get the amenities and the attraction factor of a PGA rated golf course and the access to the private beach club and on and on and on, right? There's just so many benefits to being in these types of living, and especially for people retiring, right? Like they just want to get away. They don't want to be in the middle of all the hub and all the hustle and bustle. For the better part of my clients who are retiring, who are baby boomers and so on, they come down to these complexes already, and so to present them an opportunity to have their own house while they're staying there, that's a very distinct strategy that is a great opportunity, like I said, for anybody to want to come down and not stay necessarily in a hotel, and for us investors to not have to go and build a hotel and still provide that wonderful Airbnb experience, right?
Yeah, definitely. What would you say is the average occupancy rate for and I'll bring this back so that people can see the process for something like that? You said around $400 to $500 a night for an Airbnb. Your initial purchasing price is around $500, more or less. Occupancy rate in the 60%, 50%.
Yeah, I mean, Tulum right now is well over 95% right now, and this area for the better part is well over 80%. Annual.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is one of the top global destinations right now in the world. I mean, we're talking about a destination that is so unique. It's Tulum. It's not even Mexico. It's not even it's just Tulum. It's like
it's a country of its own.
It's a planet of its own in every which way. Yes. And so the numbers from there, of course, the number of tourists arriving in Tulum per year right now is 4 million. And it's being fueled by the number of people coming into Cancun, of course. But what I share here is, the trip that you make to Cancun is not nearly the same as what you will experience if you then go down to Playa, and it's nowhere near the same than if you go and spend a few days in Tulum. And that's basically what most of the tourists are doing. But once they get to Playa and they look at the Airbnb rates in Tulum, everything changes. Tulum is not a backpackers destination. Tulum is not, a Thailand, Southeast Asia, $7 on the beach hut. It's not that, right? Tulum's studios right now, I mean, again, if we go in right now, December 22nd, we're going to get the last of what's available, and you'll see a studio is, $130, $150 American right now, and you're getting the last of the picks, right? Because people pick their properties 3 to 6 months ahead of time. So it's just breaking all the model of Expedia just put out an amazing report about what's happening here. And they said everything that goes on or that was going on in Expedia before is broken by Tulum. Tulum has, like I said, an over 85% annual occupancy rate. And I'm very conservative with my clients. I discuss numbers like 65, 75%, right? Like worst case scenario, but Tulum hasn't experienced anything like that even through this whole pandemic. So they've experienced a 13% growth year over year, which is, again, unprecedented. So
Yeah, no, this is amazing. Horacio, we're out of time almost. Is there something that I didn't ask you or didn't excuse me, that you didn't get to present?
no, I would only
Excuse
invite
me.
anybody interested in getting, going on a search. They can reach out to me. We're going to share my Calendly link, which is specific to your group. You guys can use from here, from the presentation, you can actually click on a few little links that will take you to a search page. So you can go to HoracioOchoa.com and you can actually start searching yourselves. If you see anything of a sort that's of attraction, just feel free to reach out to me through the links, and I'm here for you guys.
Great.
I think that's the gist of it. Thank you so much again for allowing me to present to you and your team.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing option for people who are looking to get out of Canada, and maybe the US is not in their immediate future, but they are looking to get out of the winter. So it could be, if Mexico is in your radar, if you want to start this process. If anybody has any questions before we go, please put them in the chat. This was very informative. I'm Mexican and I didn't even know about all this. So it's like Mexico's hidden secret. And it's, people who live in Mexico City, they might not know about this either. It's more about just getting out there and getting to know the information and the opportunities that are available. So this has been amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time. And again, we're going to put the link
Thank
in
you.
the chat so that they can schedule a call with you and you can tell them about how to proceed and their next best steps. As soon as we have it, we'll put it in there.
Well,
And
let me just go
thank
in.
you. Yeah. Oh, if you want to schedule a consult with our team, of course, we're always available, and we can always connect you with Horacio. Our consult link is investingacrossborders.net/consult. If you want to speak directly to Horacio, we'll also put the link in the chat. As soon as we can get a chance to do that, we will send out the link. But other than that, next week we don't have a guest because it's the winter break and a lot of us have kids at home. So the next 2 weeks we don't have a guest, but we'll be happy to be back after that, with more guests, more information for everybody here with the Investing Across Borders show. But we're always available. You can email us if you need anything at hello@investingacrossborders.net. We're always here. If you want to get a copy of Horacio's presentation, please let us know as well. We'll be able to send that out as well. Okay, so I think that's it, Horacio. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Midi. I'm going to put the link right here. Now, it's under my wife, who actually just joined the XP. So we're shifting everything over to her. So you guys don't get confused. Her name is Christy Ramage, but we're both doing these presentations analysis right now. She's doing another presentation. So I'm going to share it right here on the chat. And
Yes,
please
do.
feel free to share it, pass it on. And I look forward to collaborating with you and helping your clients make the most out of this wonderful opportunity. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Horacio. Take care,
Thank you,
everybody.
Midi.
We'll see
Have a
you next
wonderful
time.
day. Happy holidays to everybody.
Happy
Bye for now.
holidays. Bye-bye.